The Puck Portfolio with Andy MacNeil.
Hey, welcome to the Puck Portfolio. I'm Uncle June. No, I'm Andy MacNeil, host of the Puck Portfolio here on weekdays on the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel to provide projections, betting picks, betting strategies, you name it, to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. This show is sponsored by NorthStar Bets. Of course, good old Canadian sportsbook. You can check them out via the link in the description below. They offer early odds on the next day's NHL games. We're going to talk about why that's a very important thing for this show here in just a little bit. But yeah, myself and producer Jake here were just talking, and I was saying how the lighting here makes me look like Uncle June from The Sopranos with the tinted glasses, and I can see my my future here staring me in the face because I've got the same kind of haircut going that Uncle June had too. The old cul-de-sac. That's happening. That's making its way around my head right now. What's up, Jake? How are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Hopefully we run these picks like Uncle June ran the family for a little while there until, Tony took over, but hopefully we have some time in the sun like he did.
Yeah, yeah. Some time in the sun. I should be in Boca right now. Yeah. Anyway, big slate on Thursday. No, I shouldn't say a big slate. You know what? It's kind of a downer because there are only 8 games to talk about. We got Carolina at Detroit, Washington at Philly, Columbus at Toronto, Calgary at Minnesota, Ottawa at St. Louis, Tampa Bay in Edmonton, Chicago at Seattle, and Florida at Vancouver. And as far as the schedule breakdown goes, if we could pull that up on the screen, Jake, we've got the Detroit Red Wings playing their third game in 4 nights. Both they and the Hurricanes have 1 day off heading into this one. Washington with 3 days rest versus the Flyers. I grabbed the Flyers yesterday minus 115. I know, talking to Connor, who is normally here in the chat. Not sure if he's here today. Probably lurking around somewhere. Just haven't heard from him yet. But was talking to him this morning on Twitter, and he was pretty ticked off that he couldn't get down on the Flyers because a lot of the domestic shops in the United States, all of them pretty much, opened up with the Flyers closer to the minus 130 range. So tough one to get there, but some good prices were available here in Canada at some of the Canadian sports books. So we got down on the Flyers. They're now out of range now. You look around the market, NorthStar Bets has the Flyers at minus 141. They are minus 128 at one of the market maker books out there. So Flyers pretty much out of range. The model thinks they should be a minus 130 favorite today versus the Washington Capitals. Wasn't really sure why sportsbooks were willing to open them up around minus 110, minus 115 on Wednesday. But here we are on Thursday. They're closer to a minus 135 favorite across the market, minus 130, minus 140. That's what's out there right now. Not a good bet at this point. And especially, with the Capitals coming in, having 3 days rest. That's why the Flyers aren't a bigger favorite here. And yeah, Charlie Lindgren looks like the starter for the Capitals, according to reports on Twitter. Bailey Johnson, Charlie Lindgren is the first goalie off the ice at Caps morning skate, so he will likely start, not a confirmation by any means. And elsewhere, Dylan Larkin back on the ice, but the key thing here is that he was placed on IR, so he is not actually eligible to return until the weekend. He'll be reevaluated next week. JT Compher is unavailable tonight. I think there was an early thought that he would be back. Going to talk about the Carolina Hurricanes and the Detroit Red Wings here shortly. Don't get it twisted. I have this Hurricanes hat on for a reason other than the fact that I'm not betting on the Hurricanes here. But yeah, the hat choices haven't been working for me lately. So, mixing it up a little bit, maybe a bit of a reverse jinx here, because I'll just lay it out right now. I'm going to bet against the Hurricanes here on Thursday, and I'm going to bet against them again on Friday. So yeah, I mean, maybe if I wear the hat, it'll influence a little bit. No, it won't. Who are we kidding? That's crazy talk. But yeah, just trying to mix it up a little bit with the Hurricanes hat. So yeah, let's bring up the schedule breakdown. it's probably up there already. I'm just not looking. Yeah, it's up there. The Carolina Hurricanes, like I said, they're against the Detroit Red Wings. Both had 1 day off, 3 games in 4 nights for the Wings. Washington, 3 days off versus Philly. Columbus, 3 days off versus Toronto, who's playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. Calgary, their 3rd game in 4 nights in Minnesota. Looks like Jared Spurgeon could be unavailable tonight for the Wild, who have had 3 days off. The Ottawa Senators, St. Louis Blues, they both had a day off. And some new look lines here under new interim head coach Drew Bannister, Buchnevich, Thomas, Kyrou, Sad, Shen, Kapanen. Yeah, that's pretty much all of interest. The only lines of interest there. Really, Hayes down on the 3rd line. PP units pretty much, yeah, they remain the same. So not a ton of changes for the Blues lineup there. Like I said, we've got a bet on the Senators. Or did I mention that? We put a bet down on the Senators on Wednesday's show, minus 105, the odds at NorthStar Bets that we grabbed, minus 116 now on the Senators, minus 110, the best price in market. Not really a great bet. It was a small play to win a half unit at minus 105. Wouldn't really recommend doing that at minus 116. That's for sure. So got some good numbers yesterday at NorthStar Bets on the Flyers and the Senators. And now I'm going to add a bet on the Red Wings because if we could jump over to the projections, look, I mean, Detroit, they're without captain Dylan Larkin, as I mentioned. That weakens their offensive firepower, obviously. But the model says that Detroit's odds are too long here, and yeah. So I like the Red Wings at plus 145. That price is widely available. The Hurricanes, they're missing a top player as well, Andrei Svechnikov. They don't look like a powerhouse right now. I mean, they have the best shot attempt percentage at 5-on-5 over the last month, but their expected goals percentage is down around, yeah, that's bad mojo, Connor says. He does not like wearing the Hurricanes hat and betting against them on the Red Wings here. Well, look, the Hurricanes expected goals percentage is down around 53%. And Detroit actually grades out, at least on the surface, over the last month, better than the Hurricanes on offense and defense during that stretch over the last month. So Carolina, they're 8-3 straight up on home ice this season. But they've struggled on the road going 7-10. The Red Wings haven't been dynamite at home by any means. But look, I mean, plus 145 on the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, they're playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. But I like this bet at this price. I'm going to lock it in for a 1 unit play here on the Red Wings at plus 140. So just give me a second to do that. I mean, plus 145, sorry. But definitely shop around because, there is some plus 150 out there, just not necessarily widely available. So locking in the Red Wings without captain Dylan Larkin to beat the Hurricanes. And yeah, hopefully it goes our way. So that's that. And that's the only bet I'm adding right now. So we don't know, at least right now, what the status is of head coach defenseman Victor Hedman for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He is questionable heading into Thursday's game against the Oilers. I jumped the gun yesterday with the projected odds, leaving Hedman in the Tampa Bay lineup because he's been a warrior, right, over the last couple of seasons. I mean, he's only missed 9 games since the beginning of the 2020-21 season, I believe. And yeah, so I was a little bit optimistic, I guess, a little bit more optimistic than I should have been that he would be in. But overnight, I decided to, take him out of the lineup. And now the Edmonton Oilers minus 147 on the money line, according to the projection model. But if Hedman is in, look, I mean, I'm probably gonna bet the Lightning, and I know betting against the Edmonton Oilers seems really dumb right now, but I'd play plus 145 or plus 150. We're seeing what is the best price right now. Plus 150 in the market right now is the best price out there. And I know the Lightning have struggled recently. I mean, we won that bet on the Vancouver Canucks over the Lightning 4-1 just a couple of nights ago, but they've probably been a bit unlucky too. Tampa Bay's 5-on-5 goal share is around 41% over the last month, but the team has been a lot better than that. They rank as the top 10, number 10 actually, in expected goals percentage since November 13th. So I mean, yeah, it's a play that I would probably make if Hedman is in and the odds stick around where they're at. Like I said, betting against the Oilers does not seem something I that's super fun to do right now. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a big price. I don't think I'm low on the Oilers. Like I okay, I'll admit it now. The Oilers are back, right? They look like one of the best teams in the NHL. Um, they've won 8 in a row. They're on their way, if they win tonight, to tying a franchise record, winning their 9th in a row. So yeah, I mean, betting against the Oilers right now seems really dumb. But as Connor says in the chat, he couldn't pass up plus 150 on Tampa with or without Hedman. Of course, the Lightning have a win over the Edmonton Oilers already this season. They came back down, erased the big came back from being down against the big deficit against the Oilers. I believe the Oilers jumped out to a 2-0 lead early, and the Tampa Bay Lightning erased that. It might have been even been a bigger lead, but I remember the Oilers playing really well in that game. They had it was one of their strongest games of the season in terms of expected goal share. So that is a bit worrisome, but yeah, the price, I mean, look, I think Tampa Bay has been a bit unlucky, and we'll see what happens here. But yeah, can you pull the projections up on the screen, Jake? Or oh, okay. Oh, I'm way behind. My stream for some reason is way behind. Wow, that's weird. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Right on. All right. So yeah, that's what I've got right now. The only other bet that I'm considering is the Chicago Blackhawks, who I mean, they're up. You can get them at around plus 215 now, I believe. Plus 195 at NorthStar Bets. Technically, that's enough for a bet. I'm worried I'm a little bit too low on the Seattle Kraken, especially after going hard against them on the Florida Panthers and getting shut out 4-0 the other night. Maybe that was just an aberration. Connor in the chat says the model is definitely closer to correct on Edmonton than not. Been value against them during this run, and you can see Edmonton's prices are getting very inflated. Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't going to take long. The perception of this team was always that they could carve up a lot of teams in the regular season. Of course, when Connor McDavid was injured, etc., that was not the case. Things were a lot different when goaltending and all of the other stuff was kind of going the wrong way. That wasn't the case, but now things are back kind of to normal for this team, and it doesn't take the market long to turn for a team like this. But as far as a team like Carolina, because we're going to flip over and talk about Friday's NHL odds right away here. As far as a team like Carolina goes, I think it takes a long time for the perception of a team to change a little bit. And the Hurricanes, I don't think are, like I said, anywhere close to a powerhouse right now. They have been not very good on the road, first of all. They're without one of their top players, Andrei Svechnikov, and yeah, they have that great shot share, but they're really not all that efficient. And in terms of generating high quality chances and whatnot, they're kind of killing you like quantity like they used to, but that doesn't always work. And the Red Wings, who are not as good of a team as the Carolina Hurricanes, otherwise they wouldn't be a home underdog. But the model thinks they should be around plus 126. They're at plus 145, even plus 150. So yeah, it's on me to bet the Red Wings here. I like Detroit overall. I think they're a decent team. So yeah, goaltending is a concern. Ville Husso in goal tonight. He has not had a good season overall. But I'm going to bet on the Nashville Predators on Friday because the Predators currently plus 163 at NorthStar Bets, and we're seeing plus 140. What do I have on the model here? Why did I 147? Thank you, Jake. Thank you. Mine is 147. So, almost a 20-cent difference and that's enough for a 1 unit play on the Nashville Predators. I'm going to lock that in. Look, the Predators got outplayed by the Flyers the other night. They still managed to win the game. Intuitively, I kind of like betting on teams that better, decent, good teams when they get a lucky win, because chances are they're going to come back pretty strong the next night. At least that's what it seems. But that, don't get me wrong, that has nothing to do with why I'm playing the Predators here. I just think this Hurricanes team has a lot of, their prices are inflated quite often now. And it's pretty tough to find value betting on them. I think people might see a bit of a turn here for this team after they've struggled a bit this season. I don't really see that necessarily yet. So I'm going to lock in the Predators, a 1 unit play to win 1.63 units at NorthStar Bets on the money line. And yeah, that is my definitely my best bet for Thursday on the Nashville Predators, because they're a big dog. It's going to be a tough one. UC Saros hopefully will be in goal. We'll have to see a lot of rubber, but he's fine with that. He's fine with that. He saw a lot of rubber against the Flyers, performed pretty well. He's been back on track over the last several weeks, so that's good for the Predators. But yeah, I'm fading the Hurricanes based on these prices over the next couple of nights. I hope it works out good for me. If I can split these games, I'll make a profit. So we'll see about that. And I'm just going to check here to see if there's anything else of interest that I should be relaying to you guys as far as bets go for Friday. So no, it's Nashville plus 163. That is my best bet for Friday. Of course, we'll be back on Friday, looking ahead to Saturday's slate. How many games do we got on Saturday? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 games on Saturday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 games on Sunday. So we'll cover a lot of the weekend hockey action here. Sorry for counting out loud. But yeah. Anyway, Jake, you got anything to get to before we jump out of here? I'll recap my bets really quick, but what do you got?
Yeah, just a little football stuff. You can read Jake's takes right now on Canada Sports Betting. Unfortunately for Connor, who says he's wearing a Raiders hat in the chat, I'm picking against the Raiders tonight. I'm actually picking the Chargers to win. And there's an interesting. There's plenty of realistic football reasons for that, but the quarterback starting for the Chargers tonight, believe it or not, his name is Easton Stick. Now, it's not made up. Well, I didn't make it up. His mom, his
Hockey
parents
fan.
made it up. But hockey fans, can get a little bit of enjoyment of backing a guy named Easton Stick, even if they know nothing about football. So I'm going with Easton Stick and the Chargers tonight to beat the Raiders. And yeah.
The only guy that I'm really kind of paying attention to right now is Tommy DeVito, because yeah, I mean, right, it's kind of fun to watch. So
Exactly. As Uncle June from New Jersey, you got to back your boy DeVito and his
yeah,
and his
exactly,
cartoon mob
exactly,
boss of an
exactly.
agent.
Exactly. You know what? Before we head out of here, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Friday's games. We need a little something to talk about tomorrow, as we get into Saturday's games. But I do have that bet on the Predators. Quickly, I'm going to recap my bets here, before I start getting off topic here. But so for Thursday, the bets are Philadelphia Flyers to win 1 unit minus 115. Obviously, that one is long gone. The model thinks they should be a minus 130 favorite roughly. And that means that the Capitals would not be a good bet now. The Flyers would not be a good bet now either. You want to get down on prices early, try to get out in front of the moves. That's what I was able to do yesterday. Same thing with the Senators, minus 105 to win a half a unit. That one's minus 116 now. Not a good bet at that price. So kind of cross those off the list. They are no longer available, but the Detroit Red Wings are available. They can be had as good as, geez, it's continued to climb, and there are some shops offering better than plus 150 out there. But what we have right now at NorthStar Bets plus 140, decent price. I got to take plus 145 though, because it's widely available. So I'm taking plus 145 on the Red Wings to beat the Carolina Hurricanes. That's a 1 unit bet. So that's it for Thursday. I guess still considering the Tampa Bay Lightning if Victor Hedman is in, because I think that price should be closer to the plus 130 range if that's the case. Minus 130 in favor of the Edmonton Oilers, who are a big favorite right now. Not a big, but bigger favorite right now. So that one is one to watch. And, the other one is the Chicago Blackhawks. They're a big underdog versus in Seattle versus the Kraken. So that's one I'm potentially considering. But in all likelihood, I'm going to stick with the three bets that I have for Thursday, possibly lock in the Lightning, and that'll be it. Moving on to Friday, the Nashville Predators plus 163 at NorthStar Bets, 1 unit play to beat the Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm fading the Hurricanes on back-to-back nights. Hopefully it doesn't cost me. Like I said, if I can split, can make a profit here on those two bets because you're basically, looking at a plus 145 and a plus 163 bet, betting a unit on each. Worst case scenario, or the best case scenario would be to win both and get out ahead, a couple of units, or more than a couple of units. But yeah, I can't like DeVito, says Connor in the chart. So he does not like that I'm a fan of the But yeah, I mean, it's the swag, the agent. It's as I'm kind of like a reformed Pats fan at this point. I mean, Brady's gone, the Pats suck. I don't even really watch football anymore. I can like DeVito for a little bit if I want. But what I wanted to talk about was NHL 94. Jake, do you have an opinion on the NHL series in the 90s? And if so, is NHL 94 the GOAT?
I love those games as a kid. I don't know if I would be able to pinpoint which year was the best, but I'm guessing around that era was the best. I mean, you
Well,
just
yeah, I
cross
mean,
the crease and score as many goals as you ever wanted to.
that was a hack, right? But the addition of the one timer, the fact that it was the first kind of like licensed, like really like partnered game that came out at the time. I saw somebody say that that's a shame because NHL 95 was really good because they introduced the season mode. Look, I don't know. Maybe you were like a 2000s kid or something where, and that maybe mattered a little bit. But like for me in the 90s, like all video games were, yeah, we played our Sonic the Hedgehog and our Golden Axe and all that stuff on the Sega Genesis and the SNES. But, like for the most part, hockey video games, like I can't remember ever really playing the CPU when I was, 9, 10, 11 years old, just getting into the 2000s and stuff like that. I can't remember playing the CPU until the PlayStation 1 came along and things were a little bit more, fleshed out in terms of the season mode and everything. All I wanted to do was play with my buddies, and everybody had a copy of NHL 94. So it was like, it was fair game. Everybody knew the controls. Everybody was really familiar with it. And like for a good 5-6 year stretch, that's the only, I think it's the GOAT because that is the game that we played throughout the latter half of my childhood and into that new generation. When NHL 99 came out, I remember getting that with Eric Lindros on the cover for the PlayStation 1 that had that awesome opening. I know Connor's going to like that one because he's talking about dusting off the N64 and playing some NHL 99, but they had that awesome opening with We Can Be Heroes. And yeah, that's one of the only games that I can remember like letting the intro play every single time, even, I even like resetting the game so I could watch it again when NHL 99 flipped to the PS1. But yeah, NHL 94 on the Sega Genesis. That's what I played a lot. And I played some NHL 95 a little bit, but I just always went back to NHL 94. I didn't, it was the game that everybody played. And yeah, that's why I think it's the GOAT. It's still fun to pick up and play, but I'm definitely the next two on my list would be NHL 99 because I thought that was, such a big jump to the PS1 generation, and then NHL 2001 was pretty cool too. I remember getting that one for the PS2 with Owen Nolan on the cover. But yeah, Jake, you were you more of a Madden guy?
No, I never really played Madden. I still don't really. I can't really get into it as much as hockey games or soccer games. But I agree with you. Those NHL games we're all about like running home from school, all you and your friends kind of sitting on the floor in front of the TV and just like burning your eyes out. And yeah, so season modes definitely wouldn't have mattered to me when I was that age. And
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with your arguments for sure. I remember also there was like a Wayne Gretzky hockey or something like that. It was like the first 3D one, and it made everybody sick. And I remember that game coming
Yeah.
out at the time, so that was fun.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I didn't like I remember they had NHL Center. I think it was it was Open Ice. That was the arcade game that you'd find a lot back in the 90s and early 2000s, and that one was 3D. I don't know. I mean, it didn't do it for me, and it wasn't until getting into the PS1 graphics and that kind of game engine where I really started to like that. But yeah. So yeah, I mean, I didn't I've been drinking my Red Bull here and I haven't gotten any in my eye. I know some of you will know about the last time I drank a Red Bull live on the air. That was on the Edgework show. Lots of great guys on that show over on the Hammer Betting Network. Hockey show. You guys should, I know a lot of you overlap here. Probably some of you were tuning into the Edgework this morning. A lot of you should check out that show as well. They do a lot of great stuff. Several great handicappers over there, and lots of friends. But yeah, last time I drank a Red Bull live on the air, I splashed it in my eye, and that got laughs from everybody, of course. Yeah, Connor remembers that fondly because anytime something silly happens to Andy, it's a good day, right? Anyway, my bets. I'm gonna recap them once again because Nebraska knows some stuff. Just tuned in. He's probably wondering what the hell I'm betting on. So for Thursday, I've got a couple of bets. They're kind of long gone. The Flyers -115 and the Ottawa Senators -105. Flyers 1 unit and the Sens half unit. And then I just added the Detroit Red Wings on the money line +145. Widely available. Chop Round might even find a +150 out there. That's a 1 unit play to beat the Carolina Hurricanes. And yeah, added another play against the Hurricanes for Friday, betting the Predators +163 1 unit play on the money line. So yeah, Nebraska. Now you know that I'm fading the Hurricanes back-to-back nights. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass. But yeah, it's gambling, right? It's sports betting. So them the breaks. Anyway, good show today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for your participation in the chat. If you have not, please like this video, subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel, follow along on Apple or Spotify. Please rate and review the podcast as that helps out a ton. You got to listen to it first before you do that. So just listen, check out an episode. Even if you've watched everyone here on YouTube every day, just check out an episode on Spotify or Apple. And give us a 5-star review, or don't even bother because we don't want your 4.5. We don't want your 4. We sure as hell don't want your 3 or your 2 or your 1. I know somebody gave me a 1. Who was it? We're going to fight. But anyway, I'm gonna say, please, once again, rate and review the podcast. Please like the video, subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel, tell your friends about it, share it on Twitter. Got to help me out there, guys. Please, please, please. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Have a great night. Good luck with your bets. And we'll talk to you on Friday, recapping this show, looking ahead to Saturday and Sunday's NHL action. Good luck.